Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Paris with Integration Development, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into our UniFi Network Driver for Control4. We're going to go over how to set it up and all of the features that you can use in this driver. Where you can buy this driver is on drivercentral.io, and you can purchase it one of three ways. You could buy it individually. You could also bundle it and save with our UniFi Driver bundle. Here you'd be able to get all four of our UniFi drivers for one low price. And then finally, you can also bundle it in our Cindev driver bundle. This gets you access to all of our drivers that we make and any future drivers we will make. And you can use all of these into that one project. So this is our best overall value. We just want to give you all of your purchase options. So now that you know where to purchase it, let's go ahead and get started on the setup process. The UniFi Network Driver comes with three different drivers. It comes with the UniFi Network Gateway, the UniFi Network Device, and the UniFi Network Control. You'll want to install the UniFi Network Gateway first, and when you do that, it will ask you to enter in your IP address of your controller. You'll do that here, and then once you do that, it will ask you to set up your username and password as well. A couple of things I want to point out when you're setting up your username and password is you'll go down here into the admins and users in the UniFi network. You'll want to create a new user. You'll want to enter in a first name, and then you'll also want to select this admin button. You'll want to select to restrict to local access. Put in a username and password. This is what you'll want to copy and paste into our network gateway driver. Uncheck use the predefined role, and then give full management for whatever devices you are controlling with this username and password. Once you have it all set up, it should look something like this. You're not going to see the password because it hides it after you've entered it in, but once you're connected, you'll say connected to UniFi Network. Once you're connected to the Control4, you can start using the programming actions to be able to start doing things with your network. We will go over the network clients, the webhook server, and these options later, but you'll see here in programming, the device-specific command actions you have are you're able to refresh the communication between the network and Control4. You're able to restart a network device. You're able to control device port LAN, PoE, or VLAN. You're also able to, it also controls all the UniFi power devices. And then you also are able to do control network clients that are known. And then MAC addresses off of a MAC address as well. Under network, you'll see I have none found. Under Wi-Fi, again here, you'll see I have these different Wi-Fis. If I wanted to, let's say, do a PoE device, I could go here and I could say on my 24 port PoE, I want to turn off 12. I'm going to disable 12. And I could also add in 19. I could also say I also want to do 21 through 24. One command would do all those different, it would disable all those different PoE switches with one command. That's probably one of the coolest features we have. Works the same way with your PDUs as well. So if I were to go to an outlet and I'd say I only have a plug in my house, but if this was a power strip, you'd be able to say I want to do outlet 1, 3 through 5 or whatever. You'd be able to turn them on, turn them off, or cycle them. So those are the options out of the box that you have with our UniFi Network driver. You'll see on my PoE switch, I have port 12 and port 19, both hooked up to cameras. So let's go ahead and in programming, let's go ahead and to test this out. I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna say I want to, on my PoE port, my PoE switch, on 12 and 19, I want to go ahead and disable those PoEs. Right, so if I do that, let me just do this on a room off event. So I'm going to do that here. I'm just going to execute this command. We'll go back here and you'll see 12 no longer has power and 19 no longer has power as well. It takes a little while for it to actually show up in the camera app that they are turned off. It takes up to about a minute, but you'll see here instantaneously it shows that it did send that command to those. And let's go ahead and run that back and say now we want to enable those. So I'm going to add this one in. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll just go ahead and execute this command one more time. I'll come back here. And now you'll see again 12 has the power and 19 has power again. So that's how easily you can do PoE, power, all those different devices. Now with our clients, let's say we wanted to show clients. Right now I have none found, right? So I can add some clients into my projects. If I were to go back to clients, let's say I wanted to connect a network client, I could do that here under Network Client Management. You can sort by online wired, wireless, offline wired, wireless. We're just going to say online wireless for 3 days, a day, so forth. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab my iPad here. So I'm going to add that one in. It's now added in. It's added in under connections. You'll see here, there's my iPad that's connected. And then if I were to come back here, I'm just going to click off and click back on. If I were to go to device specific commands, I can go to known clients, and here you'll see my iPad is available. I could block it or unblock it. Okay, so you could do that too. Let's say you have a dinner time, you want to block certain clients, you could do that. As soon as you hook up the driver, you can do most of your programming actions in here. We keep the connections very simple. You just have your Wi-Fi connections and your, some of these devices. But let's say you wanted to get into more detail and have more control of your network. We're going to show you how to do that now. So back on the properties page, we're just going to go ahead and enable all these items. We're going to enable the network. The Wi-Fi's are already enabled. We're also going to enable the port forward rules if you wanted to do that. We're going to go ahead and turn on the webhook server. So now we can actually do webhooks as well. We'll use this URL. I'll show you that as well. If you wanted to add in the devices to get your device connection so we could do some more cool things, we'll go ahead and do that. We're just going to say add switch and power devices. So when I hit set here, what it's going to do, it's going to add in my non-PoE switch, my PoE switch, as well as my USB plug. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say hit set. It automatically starts loading them in. You'll see it uses this UniFi Network Device Driver. It's going to add in all 3 of those devices. There is no real options on these devices. All it's doing is setting you up with the setting you up with all of the connections now. So here I have the plug connections. I have my PoE connections. And you'll see here for port 1, I have the PoE and the LAN control, right? And then for my non-PoE, I just have my LAN controls. How we can tie this all together is I'm going to add in a UniFi Network Control Driver to this room. And while it's doing that, so now it just says it's under network control. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a camera. Okay, I'm going to connect this to those 2 ports of my for my camera. So on the PoE switch, remember we said it was port 12 and 19. So I'm going to go ahead and do my port 12. I'm going to make my first connection to port 12, the PoE. And then what it will do is it'll add in a next connection. Do you want to connect multiple items to this? So I'm going to go ahead and connect this to 19 as well. Oops, that's the non-PoE right here, PoE. There we go. So now I have a button for my customers. Let me go ahead and add this into navigators. So now that we made our connections, I want to get the camera icon to show up in navigators. I can go to show icon to specific rooms. This automatically will load it into that room. But here's another way if you want to add it also into other rooms, you could do that here. You can hit set. I'll hit set. We'll go ahead and refresh navigators, and then I will be right back. Now that navigators are refreshed, I'm going to go ahead and favorite this to the room. So we're going to go and do that. Favorite to room. Okay, it's showing up there now. So now if I have here, I want to toggle the power, right? So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the same test again. So I'm going to go here. We're going to go to our PoE switch port manager. Let's go ahead and fire this off. So 12 and 19 should go off once we hit this. So I've toggled it off. There's 12 and 19 already off. Okay, I toggle it again. We'll see the power come back on, power's on, power's on. So you could easily set up nice UI buttons for your customers to, let's say, turn off their indoor cameras when they want, things like that. Now let's say they wanted to set up screen time, right? We're going to show you how to do that next. We're going to go ahead and add in another network control driver. We're going to call this one screen time here. So let me go rename this one screen time. Okay. I'm going to add a couple more clients into my network gateway, and we'll show you how to do the next steps next. All right, I've loaded my other one in, screen time. You'll see there is no UI, so I'm going to go ahead and go to connections. We're going to now go, connect this. So let's go ahead and connect this to those couple clients here. So I'm going to connect it to my iPad. We'll go ahead and wait for the next one. We'll do it to my daughter's iPad and my other daughter's iPad. So once I hit this button now, you'll see it changed the UI as soon as I connected a button. So now on this one, it's going to toggle, which would be block, unblock those devices. So you see I have the two devices here. Let's go ahead and click this button to block them. I've blocked them. It takes a little while, so they're blocked. That's why we can't see them anymore. And now I will go ahead and unblock them, and it takes a little while for them to appear back on because they have to reconnect to the network and so forth. We'll come back and take a look at that here in a minute. So I'm going to search here again. So for iPad, and there the two iPads are reconnected to the network. So that's how easily you can do these items for your customers. And for example, if you didn't want to do a screen time button, let's say they have a dinner time button or dinner time mode, right? And you want to do screen time there. You can say when dinner mode is active to just go to your programming. And again, here you could say I want to, this client I want to block, and this client I want to block. You could just do it that way as well. So this driver has lots of cool functionalities for you. All right, probably one of the coolest things we've added in is I've added in another UniFi Network Control driver. We're going to call this one Join Guest Wi-Fi. So I'm going to make this a Wi-Fi UI button. Instead of toggle here, I'm going to have show Wi-Fi QR code, right? So I'm going to hit set there. Now it says bind to UniFi Network Wi-Fi to use. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull this up here and we're going to bind it to our guest network. I'm going to bind it to the Wi-Fi guest network. There's changed our UI here. Now I'm going to pick the navigator I want to have this show on. So I'm going to have it go to my desk touchscreen here. And when I hit this button now, it's going to show you your QR code with your guest network that you can use your camera to scan the QR code and join the guest network. So when I hit this button, a QR code is going to launch on my touchscreen here, and then we're going to join my network here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button. Okay, there's the guest Wi-Fi. I'm going to go ahead and open up my camera. I'm going to scan it. Joining Wi-Fi. So everything that's pretty cool. We love that new feature. Very easy to do that. Another cool thing here too is let's say you're using this at an Airbnb, right? So when your Airbnb guest uses their code to enter into the house, you can have your guest network pop up on the screens or the TV or whatever with scan the QR code. And then you could say when my guest leaves, I want to come in here, let's just say when the guest leaves or whatever at checkout date, you could go here and you could say change Wi-Fi password. I can just say I want to, for my Paris guest, I want to randomize the password, and I can just fire that off. It will create a new password. So if I were to execute this, let me get to my guest network here. So you can see my guest network password is kind of long and crazy. So let's go ahead and change that here. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go ahead and just execute this. Okay, I executed. It will come back here. You see it has changed. And then it takes about a minute for it to apply. But it will automatically apply by the time your next guest comes into your house. The new guest network will have a new Wi-Fi password, so you don't need to worry about having to change it and people always having access to your guest network. One other thing I wanted to mention with the network control driver is, let's say I wanted to connect also to different PoE switches or power plugs or whatever else, right? You can do that. This one I just haven't connected to cameras, but if I wanted to also tie it to my iPad, I could turn that off. If I wanted to tie it to this LAN port, I could do that. So you could tie it to the USB plug. This one button will turn off all those devices, and when you hit it again, it will turn them back on. So that's another option you can do in that. We also talked about webhooks, right? So let me get to the webhook section in here. So in the UniFi Network section, you'll want to go to Alarm Manager. You can create an alarm. Let's just say I want to get notified when a certain client device is connected, right? Let's say I just want to get a notification when my iPhone connects to the network or your daughter's network or whatever, right? I could do that here. I could say, okay, I want it to be a webhook. I want it to be a custom webhook. I copy and paste in this address here. So whoops, let me grab all that. We're going to copy this. Go ahead and paste it here. I'm going to paste in that URL. I'm going to hit post. Okay, and then I'm going to say Jamie's phone connected, let's just say, right? I hit create. Once I've created it, you see it here now. So let's go ahead and come back to here, and we'll go ahead and refresh communication so we can see this in here. If I go to programming, then you can program off of when an alarm manager event has been received. We'll go here and we'll go to conditionals, and if that alarm is Jamie's phone connected, do this programming. So that's all the different ways you can program off of our UniFi Network driver. So those are most of the features that you can do with this driver. There are more, but trying to keep the video at a shorter length. If you'd like a full private demo of how to use this driver for you and your team, I'd be happy to do that. You can reach me at jamiep@cindev.com. And I'd be happy to schedule time to go over this in more depth to see how it could fit towards your business needs. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, and I hope you have a great day.